Hi folks, so by this point you should be being pretty used to working with equations that say look like this: y plus 3 is equal to 9, say, okay, and if we use the scale analogy, that means that this side is on a scale that's balanced with that side. Okay, there's my scale, and that means that they're equal. Now what I could do is I could remove the same thing from both sides, subtract 3, and so these would cancel out, and I would get y is equal to 6. I could solve that. I could also go the other way, and you could say, well, I want to add the same thing to both sides, and now I get, okay, I want to keep this even now. So I've got y plus 3. Those are not like terms. These are not like terms. This is a variable term. This is a constant. So I cannot combine them, but I can write that they're put together. I can just say, well, that's just y plus 3. These are like terms. 6 and 3 is 9. So I can go back to what I originally started by adding or subtracting the same thing from both sides. The same thing goes with multiplication. Now, since we're moving towards systems here, I do want to talk about another idea, and that is using the distributive property. And the distributive property is early on in PEMDAS, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So we're dealing with this, right? Parentheses. That means that you must do those first. Parentheses. Okay? Parentheses. Okay, so if I have a term, let's say I have 3t plus 7 is equal to, let's say, 19. Okay, let's say 3t plus 7 is equal to 19. What I'm going to worry about here is order of operations is going to say get rid of these parentheses first. And I know that from the distributive property what I'm going to need to do is take the number that's in front and I'm going to need to apply it to each of the numbers in between. So this is like saying I have 3t plus 7s. This is a t plus 7. Okay, I've got another one, t plus 7, and I've got another one over here, t plus 7. And that is going to balance on my scale. That's going to balance to be 19. Give ourselves some room here. 19. So I've got 3 of these on my scale. Let's draw that real quick. Got this is one side of my scale, and this is 19, and these are going to actually balance out, so these are level. So I've got these 3t plus 7s, and those balance out with a 19. I don't know what t is, but if I take it and I add 7, and I have 3 of them, then that gives me 19. So I can figure that out. Let's find out what we have on this side. So this is t plus t plus t, so that's a total of 3 t's. I've got 3 t's, and I've got 7 plus 7 plus 7, that's 21. So I've got 21 numbers and 3 t's, 3 something, I don't know, give me 19. So let's write that part here. Equals 19. So let's figure out what the t is. Well, if I take all of these, if I take all of the 7s off, okay, imagine I removed all of these 7s here. Take off that, take off these 7s, take off these 7s. What I'm really doing, I'm also doing the same thing here. I can say minus 7, minus 7, minus 7, or really this is 21, right? So I'm subtracting 21. So that's why what we do here is we say, okay, let's take those 7s off there so we can just play with the t's. I want to do that. And these are added. These 7s were added to this side, so I want to take them off. And I want to take them off that side too. So I can say I'm going to subtract the 21 from that side, and I'm going to have to take 21 off of that side too to keep it balanced. Okay? Draw my line here if that helps you. Now what's left over here? Well, 21 minus 21, that's 0. That's 0. So all that's left on this side is still the 3t. So now all that's left over here are my t's, right? My 3 t's. And here, okay, now I've got a negative number. It's kind of weird on a scale, but it's okay with numbers. 19 minus 21 is negative 2. negative 2. So now if I just had my 3 t's on here, if I just had the t's, what would be on this side would be negative 2. And let's say I take these 3 t's and I divide them into thirds. I'm gonna cut these into thirds. I'm gonna cut that into thirds as well. So I can say that t is equal to negative 2 thirds. Now, I don't want to lose anyone here at this step, and this one is the one where we sometimes forget. We say 3t divided by 3, well, that's 0. Well, no, it's not. If it were adding or subtracting, like if I were subtracting 3t from 3t, that'd be 3 something I don't knows, and then you just get rid of everything, right? But this isn't getting rid of it, it's just making it smaller. So let's use this, let's kind of use a shape analogy here. Let's say that I've got something that is t. Got something that is t. Okay, so this is t. And I've got 3 of them. Here's a t. I don't know what it is, but this is it. I've got 3 of them. Okay, so I'm going to take 3 of them and I'm going to cut it into thirds. In fact, I'm going to cut each one of them into thirds. So maybe there and there, there and there, there and there. Okay, so now if I cut each one into thirds, and I keep that, I'll have this right here. So I'll have this piece, that third from there, that third from there, that third from there. Again, there's 3 of them because I started out with 3 t's, and now I'm cutting them all by 3. So what's that going to look like when I'm done? Well, when I'm done, this one's going to look like this, and this one, this second one, is going to look like that. Okay, so that's, this one is right here, this one is right here, and as you may have guessed, the next one looks like that. Okay, now I've got 3 of these little 1/3 pieces of my original t's. Well, if I've got 3 of them, these 3 will make the original t, right? This is taking this thing, breaking into 3 pieces, but now I have 3 pieces, so really I have back what I started with, which is just t. If you take something and you divide it by a number, and then you multiply it by the same number, you get whatever you started with times 1. You get whatever's left in the denominator. So that's why we say sometimes that these cancel out. You can also think of this as simplifying a fraction. If you want to simplify a fraction, this is really 3 over 3t. Okay, same thing. Dividing is the same thing as multiplying by a fraction. Well, this right here, that reduces to 1. It reduces to 1, so you just have 1t. So that's equal to 1t. 1t. However you want to think of it, when you divide and multiply by the same number, you just get whatever's left attached to it. You get 1, basically, times whatever else is there. In this case, that's a t, so you get 1 times t.